Hey, Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello, Seeker. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. I am your host, Talia Joy. Welcome back to the show for all of you listeners and part of the community, fellow seekers on the path. Welcome back. And to anyone who is brand new, hello, hello. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. My name is Talia Joy. Let's do that intro all again. I am so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that our paths have crossed paths. Our paths have crossed, and that you have found this show. In this episode today, we are talking about purpose and really how your purpose is not a job. I'm going to clarify more what your purpose is. I want to riff all about it. I've got some key points and clues of where to look for your purpose. And we're just going to have a deep dive conversation about what it means to be in line with your soul's purpose. How most people, it's a big misunderstanding, I find, as an intuitive and as a channel. The way I see purpose and the way spirit explains it to me and shows it to me is different than what I often see people talking about when they're like, what's my purpose? I'm looking for my purpose. So today, that's what we are talking all about. Before we dive in though, I wanted to invite you over to Instagram. Come and find me over there if you have not already. It is at Talia Joy Manifestation. The links are always below, but you can look for me, Talia Joy Manifestation, over on Instagram. I'm always posting reels and hacks and posts and stories and, all the Instagram stuff. So come find me over there. Also, if you have not heard, I have a second podcast that is called On the Path, and that is much more about tangibly how to do the work. So on this show, we explore big concepts and I'm giving you tools and we're talking about, different aspects of awakening and manifestation and really giving you those activations and that all over conversation. Over on the path, it's really the tangible, to the point, what to do, how to do the work. So On the Path is a subscription podcast that you get access to when you're part of the community. At this point of recording, it's $27 a month. You can come for as long as you want. We do monthly challenges. So we've done an abundant AF challenge, a body love challenge. We have monthly challenges as well as weekly episodes, deep dives, meditation, exactly how to do the work. And the weekly episodes are assignments. So we're saying, this week we are focusing on intuition and I give you tools. This week we're focusing, on self-love, or I'm giving you manifestation techniques to practice over the week. It is really that tangible how to do the work, and then an all-over resource because it contains my entire methodology from activating who you truly are, healing, subconscious reprogramming, all the tools that I use, all the way up into manifestation and quantum manifestation and how to live a life on the path, doing the spiritual and self-growth work on the regular. That's what it's about. So over there, it's the breaking down, it's the tangible to-dos, and over here we are expanding your cells and talking about these big concepts and having you understand this journey, in a much deeper way. So if you could utilize both and you want to join On the Path, the link for that again is below, and it's a really beautiful place to be. I literally talk like you are my one-on-one client. I talk as if you are my clients. I created it for you, for them to really dive into the tangible work and get to it and start moving the needle forward in your life. So I invite you over to On the Path. And other than that, I really want to talk about for a brief second a workshop that we have coming up very soon on April 25th, and it's called Purpose Uncovered. So it goes really well with this episode, and it's all about clarifying and exactly understanding what it means to quote unquote live in purpose. I'm going to go through the 3 levels levels of purpose that Spirit shows to me. And we're also going to create your purpose blueprint so that you can very clearly understand how to live in alignment with your soul's purpose and just understand it on a much deeper level. So if you listen to this and you want even more, come to the workshop April 25th. There will be a replay, but I highly recommend coming live. It is going to be an expansive conversation, workshopping time to really go through the process, as well as an energy activation at the end. So join me for Purpose Uncovered. Okay, we're diving in. So the first thing I want to talk about today is how most people are saying, what is my purpose? And most of the time, they are referring to some sort of job or something that they could make money at, or a way to even impact the world. And that's beautiful because we can express our purpose through a business or through a job, but your purpose is not an actual job. And I've joked about this in the past, how, if a client comes to me wanting to know their purpose and, that we work together, I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh, your purpose is to be an architect if you've never been interested in architecture. It's not something outside yourself. And your purpose itself is fluid. And as much as in some ways it is defined, I'll get to this in a minute, it's also fluid. So for example, part of my purpose is helping other old souls to grow and evolve into higher consciousness, to manifest their dreams and really become what their soul intended for them. Literally what we're talking about. This is so in purpose. So that is part of my earth purpose, part of what I'm here to do on earth. However, the actual purpose isn't like this podcast or a program or my one-on-one mentorship or an event. The purpose isn't the business, but I express my purpose through the avenue of a business. So somebody could express their purpose being an accountant or being a teacher or being, a doctor or a stay-at-home parent or a creative or a writer. It could be in any of those. And you could also be in a job that doesn't feel like soul aligned, but you could be expressing your purpose there. But you could also be in your own business that is completely not your purpose. So it's magical when we bring them together. And for those entrepreneur babes, I'll say a few things to you, of course, during this episode. You are doing your life's work and your purpose through your business, but your business will change, right? Sometimes you might go through seasons of you're doing lots of consultations and you're doing group work and then you're doing in-person stuff and then you're doing online and then you get yoga certification or then you start doing retreats or you write a book or you have a podcast or you do one-on-one sessions. I might have already said that. No one of those is your purpose, yet you're expressing your purpose through all of them. So to get a little bit more specific, and if you're wanting clarity on your purpose, join me in Purpose Uncovered. That is exactly what we're doing, as well as creating the purpose blueprint, yours, not just one I hand out for everyone. It's your purpose blueprint. We're going to be doing that in the workshop. But in general, your purpose is much more ingrained already in who you are. And in essence, your purpose, this is why there's a few different levels, why I'm teaching the 3 levels, because your purpose is already who you are. So the highest level of the purpose, which I'm not going to get all in depth into those because that is for the workshop and I don't have the space to go through all of them in detail. But one of your purposes is truly to be you and to evolve and transform and to be all that you are meant to be on a soul level. So part of your purpose is actually just being you and learning how to be fully expressed. Like when we think of purpose, again, we need to kind of break down the meaning. So if somebody walks into your house and sees some weird gadget, just trust me on this, it seems so left field, but they see some weird gadget and they're like, what is the purpose of this? It's almost like saying like, what is the point of this? Or what is the function of this, right? But when we say, what is my purpose? It's like we're looking for a job. But if you actually back up, which again is why there's 3 levels, what is the purpose in general? This is how I got the highest level, is literally asking Spirit, what is the purpose of this journey? Like, why does the soul reincarnate? I know we went deep, but you're in a podcast about awakening. We're talking about purpose. We're already knee deep in the cosmos. Like, why even reincarnate, right? So if somebody comes to you and they're like, oh yeah, you're an old soul, you've had all these lives, and even telling you, like, you may know this intuitively, or you hear teachers and spiritual guides say this, we reincarnate and we have many lives. The highest purpose is almost like, why? What's the point in that? So our purpose isn't just like one thing that's static that you're meant to do. And if you don't do that thing, you're not in purpose. There's multiple facets, as there is with reality, and as there, you are multi-layered. Everything has many layers. So take the pressure off yourself that your purpose is going to be some job that you have to uncover, and more start looking at it like, okay, I am a full spectrum human. Okay, don't say that. I mean, you can, but it's the, backing on the whole saying of, we are not a human having a spiritual experience. We are a soul having a human experience. We're actually a soul having a temporary human experience. So if the first question you ask is why, that's what starts to lead you to the ultimate highest purpose, which I'll just start to kind of share a little bit about, is to remember more of who you are. Like, the entire purpose, the reason why you reincarnate over and over and over is to become an old soul. So you go like, well, why? It's because as you grow as a soul, you remember more of yourself and you come back to source consciousness. So why you incarnate as a human over and over and over is to learn and grow as a soul. So part of you is incredibly in purpose when you're doing growth work, when you are remembering more spiritually of who you are, when you're catching glimpses of what they would say alignment, or you feel in tune with your soul. Maybe it's when you get a reading about your past lives, or maybe it's when you connect to the higher parts of yourself. It's when you start going, wait a minute, I'm not just a human. I am a soul. What does that mean? And discovering more parts of you. So I don't believe you have to know all of your past lives or every little detail, because it is in the past. Well, time isn't linear, but anyway. But more importantly is, am I growing and evolving as a soul? That's the work. That's one of your levels of purpose. So just the fact that you're a spiritual seeker in an awakening means you're already in purpose. And as an old soul, and in this lifetime, you wouldn't be listening if this wasn't true. 100%, the law of attraction's real. This episode has even been brought to you in the right time, because your soul signed up for what it hopes to be a form of enlightenment or awakening or peace and joy and expression that you find in this lifetime, because you've spent a lot of lifetimes, same with me, where we haven't achieved that sense of peace. We haven't, it's been an evolution. It's like when you're a human and you're a kid, you just have a different awareness than when you're 80 years old. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like you grow. So over all these lifetimes, you've grown. And this is the lifetime that your soul is really hoping that you truly break in and break out and break through, break free, all the breaking, into the unlimited being that you are, into mastering what we would call manifestation, mastering self-love, like self-mastery. That's what your soul has been intending for you in this lifetime. And I hate to say this, but it doesn't even have to be this lifetime. It's one of these lifetimes, but I hope for you, and what I'm committed to within myself, is this being the lifetime that I truly break into that feeling of inner freedom, of that healing, that liberation, that back to source consciousness and healing and peace for myself, so that I am a deliberate creator living a magical existence that isn't just about money. It is abundance, it is success, but it's about fulfillment and inner nirvana, inner peace. So I know I went super big here, but one of the levels of purpose of you, like one of the reasons why you're here, is for the soul to realize more of itself and remember more of itself and do the spiritual work of remembering that you're a soul on a journey and diving into that work. There are other levels of purpose, including our earth purpose, which is the one that most people are going, what's my purpose? What can I do to contribute to earth? And or what could I do as a business that feels really fulfilling? So again, we're diving into this in the workshop. If you want to map this out, join us. But our earth purpose is more about earth and how we are here to impact our fellow humans. So in the earth purpose, which again is what most people are saying when they're saying, what's my purpose? Or when I'm helping my entrepreneur babe clients and I'm helping them to bring more of their purpose into their business or into their life. And especially when it is business, we're really bringing your gifts online, your unique expression, your unique offerings. So I'm going to talk to you, whether you are an entrepreneur or not. Again, it really has nothing to do with your job, but you can use this if you are an entrepreneur, something similar to me, or you're helping people from some lived experience. If you go back to the last episode about being a healer or a light worker, if that stuff applies to you, you can look to bring more purpose into your business and into your life through the things I'm about to talk about. Or if you have no interest in having a business, you don't feel called to be a healer or something specifically yet, you know you want to help other humans, this is also where you look for your purpose. So before I get into these signs just for a second, or the places to look, for your purpose, I just want to use the example of my dad, and I've had many clients like this as well. So my dad is awesome, and he was a letter carrier for his career. While I was growing up, he was a letter carrier. So my dad, in his own essence, he's really about like humor and laughter, and he's really non-judgmental. He has this vibe about him that everybody loves him. They feel comfortable. I don't know how he does it. He laughs a lot. He doesn't take things too seriously. He's got a vibe. So part of him living in that vibe, and as we're talking about earth purpose, how are you here to help other humans? That just naturally is who he is. If any of you know me in real life and you've met my dad, you know what I'm talking about. He spreads joy. He spreads humor, he spreads acceptance, and he just does it naturally. That is part of how he's here to help other humans on earth. Part of the way we pass on our light is, I hate to say this because it's getting a little morbid for a second, but like the things that are said at our funeral, like, oh, she just really was always empathetic, or she always took time to listen, or, she always blah, blah, blah. And he always did this. And they always, taught me just by the way, they were such a hard worker, so inspiring, whatever it is, right? We have inner gifts. So my dad didn't have a career where he was like, a healer or a tarot card reader, or even like a doctor that helps brain surgery for children or does brain surgery on children, or some big thing that we would say that's helping the world. But his career gave him safety, security, and a good enough income. He had dental, he had medical. We got to go on a vacation every year-ish. He had enough. We were fine. He had enough for his journey, and his job had zero stress. So he could leave the office, zero stress. He got tons of exercise. He was walking for like 6 hours a day. So up until he retired, he stayed fit. He was outside all day. He loved his job. People loved him. He spread joy every time he'd deliver mail to anyone. They were like, hey, John. And, they loved him. He spread joy. And it was the perfect career that had zero stress and allowed him to live his life of freedom. So this is a great example because he's also a potter. He makes the most incredible pottery. If you've ever seen me live on video, I'm almost always sipping coffee out of one of his mugs. And his whole life has done pottery. He's taught pottery. He's done special workshops. He's taught through the city, Parks and Rec type deal, but he didn't want to make his pottery the main focus of where he had to make income. He said to me once when I was young, he said or maybe even just a teenager or whatever, but he said, I didn't want to put the pressure on my creative gift to make money and to have it be what I live off of. And I thought that was so wise. So this this is just an example. And why I'm saying this is that you don't have to have some sort of job that you consider to be this purpose-filled job or not. It's not like if you have a government job or any sort of job that someone else wouldn't say is soul aligned. It doesn't mean that it's not the right job for you. You could find peace and really contribute in a corporate job. I have a really good friend who is very driven to help there be more equality in corporate places and to bring in, different colors, ethnicities, making sure women are getting, compensated and better and equal pay and all these things. And she does corporate jobs. She's had her career in corporate, but she has brought her zest because her mom was an immigrant and she felt really passionate about making sure, that there was certain things going on and noticed all the things that weren't happening and worked her way up. And she's been at big conferences for all of Canada, for HR stuff, for government, and she's really making a difference because that's where she's bringing her purpose. So we don't need to have first of all, those are just different examples to say you could bring your purpose into your job and have it be there, or your purpose could be nothing to do with your job, but your job is what gives you the safety and the security for you to go out and maybe write a book or be on retreats or to just be a happy person who is infectious to other people with their joy or their empathy. It doesn't have to be your job. So I know I've really hit that home, but I just want to say that. For those of you who do want to make it a job, you can start to really look at, what do people come to me for advice for? What do I feel like I could talk about for hours? What have I overcome and transformed that I could help other people with, right? Going on that last episode about being a healer or a light worker, definitely listen to that if you're feeling drawn toward that. But what I wanted to do in this episode to make sure I stay on track is I wanted to talk about like places you can look for what your purpose is, because we're establishing it's not your job. It's not one thing. It's not static and it's not outside yourself. It's already within you. So here's a few places to look for what your where you can express your purpose. And if you wanted to make it a job and all of this is encompassing in these points. So first of all, looking at your natural interests and passions, right? Everyone's interested in different stuff. Some people are they're really drawn to like Japan or history. Other people like myself, and I know some of you listening, I know who you are, you're randomly drawn to whales or to a certain, era in history, or maybe it's music, maybe it's the theater, maybe it's about community, maybe you're really passionate in a certain art or a certain creative expression, or your humor is hilarious, whatever. Humor, I guess, isn't so much a passion, or maybe it is. Maybe you're a comedian. But your interests and your passions lead you. Those are clues. Those are within you from previous lifetimes, their soul imprints, those core passions. So it might not be that like, for me, I really love like a good rice noodle dish, but that might not be part of my purpose. But speaking has always been a passion. Singing has always been a passion, like using my voice. Interest, I've been studying stuff about the nature of reality and the universe and law of attraction since I was 14, way before The Secret came out, way before it was like mainstream. So I've always had that interest. I've always been interested in astrology from the time I was young, all different things. So those interests, there's been clues there my whole life as to how I am, where I was headed, and what my soul is truly here to do. So there's always been little clues. So looking in your interests and your passions. Another one, which is very close, is your natural gifts and talents. And this even comes back into the voice. I was saying, since the time I was young, in every job, I've been like, picking up the phone, like, good afternoon, blah, blah, blah. And people would be like, you have such a good voice. You have a radio voice. Do you sing? Do you do something with your voice? And I thought it was just like, I don't know. I just thought it was like, yeah, okay. I just get told that a lot. And then fast forward, and now I have these moments of like, holy crap, that's been in there the whole time about speaking and about a way of putting things together. That's part of my natural blueprint of my purpose and how I can share my gifts. So, your natural gifts and talents, even if they seem weird and random, even if it's something about dot art or painting, or it's you have a gift of lip reading or learning languages quickly, or for numbers, or for, medicine, or you're interested in, food, you have a gift or a talent for cooking, like really, truly, whatever it is, it's you on purpose. So you want to think about those core things, even since you were young. What did you have a natural gift or talent for? Even if to you right now it seems random, it's really worth noting. So also your purpose. And part of your earth purpose comes into your transformation story. So I also want you to be thinking about, like, what have I overcome? And so for me, there's been a lot I've overcome. I definitely had never known how to love myself. I've really had to learn what unconditional love and showing up for myself truly is. And also like my body image stuff, which really was learning how to love myself unconditionally, treat myself with love, also healing abandonment wounds and, things like that. That's been my transformation story, learning how to come back into myself and trust myself and develop my intuition over my ego screaming in my mind. As you can see, my story directly ripples into how I help my clients, which comes into my book, the podcast, my one-on-one work, workshops, programs, right? So it's built into my purpose. So for you, same thing. If you've overcome, maybe it's a certain ailment in your body or a disability or mental struggles where you've had, anxiety or PTSD and you've learned how to regulate and, live with that or heal something, whatever it's been, it's on purpose. Again, your transformation story, the big one, like the big kahuna. Maybe it's trust issues or loving your body, self-esteem. These things are on purpose and they start to impact, like I said in the healer episode, they impact how you interact with others. So if you've, been to rock bottom with addiction and then turned your life around, friends, family, people in your community, even if it's not what you do for a job, you're helping your friend who's struggling with drinking. You're helping someone, maybe even someone says to you, you've overcome this. Can I give you the number of another friend who's, in the throes of leaving an abusive relationship and it's something you've done? You naturally have built-in skills to help others just by transforming. So whether it's self-esteem or it's something externally that you've overcome, both of them are so valuable for others. So that's another place to look for your purpose. The next thing about the earth purpose, which again is only one level, but the way you help others without trying. So this comes into that transformation story, and the way you help others without trying, your natural empathy, your natural humor, the way you make space for people, the way you're a solid friend or you're, open, non-discriminatory, like whatever it is, the way that you just be, that other people, that it helps them, it nurtures them. It could be a certain topic you know a lot about. You can just, help your friends. You're helping all your friends with nutrition, or you're helping all your friends with something that you've overcome. That way that you help people just without even trying. Your natural helping nature. That is part of totally what you are here to do while you're in the grocery store, while you're with friends, or while you're in a business, whatever you choose. So I'm going to start wrapping this up here, but those are some of the places to look to really discover more about yourself and the fact that who you are meant to be is already who you are. It's actually more about releasing what you're not, giving yourself permission to be fully expressed and really own your story and own your wisdom and pass that on to others. That's going to all come into your purpose. But as I wrap this up, I know I've said it. I know it's the title of the episode, but it's not one thing and it's not just a business or a job. And as I said, it's multi-layered. So you're not in purpose or out of purpose and you got to find it like lost keys behind the couch and like, holy shit, I found my purpose. It was right next to the love seat. Oh my God, it was right here. Weird though. It's telling me I need to be a chef and I've never cooked. Like that's weird. It's not mysterious. It's not outside of yourself. It's you being your most you-ness. It's you unlocking the magic of you. It's you doing what you naturally do when you're in that natural magnetic state, which is usually why we're drawn to self-growth work and all that, so we can come back to who we truly are. So join me in Purpose Uncovered, where we're going to really unlock your purpose blueprint. And as I said, from the highest level, the purpose of why you're here is to grow and evolve and come back to that spirit part of you, that bigger part of you, and for your soul to grow. And then there's a middle level that's more about your journey here on earth and what you're here to learn. And then there's that earth purpose, which is how you're here to impact others. If you want to really unpack all of those and get crystal clear so that you're not just looking for a job, but if you want to align your purpose with more like meaningful work, you want to transition careers or you want to start a business, you can totally do that as well. And I'm going to help you to break that down. So I invite you into Purpose Uncovered. It's going to be a conversation. It's going to be a workshop. We're going to end with an energy activation. And the whole point is activating your soul's purpose, bringing it more online, gaining clarity. And I'm even going to be answering questions intuitively, channeling, really helping you guys with your questions, whoever joins me in the workshop. We're going to take some time to do that if you have any specific questions for you. So I hope that you enjoyed this today. I know that this concept, it's like we want to make it tangible, but it's so big because we're talking about your soul and your evolution. And I promise there is a way to make sense of it all and just keep exploring this path and really uncovering and unpacking what it truly means to be in purpose. If it wasn't a job, what does it mean to be in alignment with your soul? That's where the true magic happens. So join me in the workshop if you want to go deeper. Otherwise, Seeker, I'm out. I hope this served you today. I love you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right path, and I will see you soon. Hey, thank you for listening to this episode. It truly means a lot, and I really, really hope that it served you. I invite you to check out the show notes. There's all sorts of action down there, including the Awakening Her daily practice, which is a beautiful daily practice to process your emotions and manifest what it is that you want. In the show notes, you'll also find the Awakening Her Manifesting Apparel store, how to reach me on Instagram and Facebook, as well as some one-to-one opportunities. So make sure to check that out, and I'll see you in the next episode.